everybody, today we will discuss two topics from The Wizard of Oz. The first one is about themes, and the second one is about symbols. Dorothy lives in a place no one would like to call home. Her house sits in the vast Kansas prairie, troubled with dangerous cyclones and the lack of beauty and color. Her home is, of course, in contrast to Oz, a stunning and beautiful place. It is home to deep forests and fragrant fields of flowers stretching for miles from end to end. Its inhabitants are cheerful and virtuous, though they are indeed rare. Still, the saying that there is no place like home still goes for Dorothy. Dorothy's route back to Kansas is not simple. This really long journey provided her with several life lessons. She learned the value of friendship through her three traveling companions. She found that herself tested emotionally and physically. Finally, she learned to trust herself and that the answers to her problems lie within her. This journey then gave her much more insight into herself and taught her how to navigate an oftentimes treacherous and confusing adult world.
Oh, why can't I?
It seems curious how Dorothy would want to leave the land filled with wonders. Dorothy never questions her return to. She finds that the dull and dreary plains of Kansas is where she belongs. She finds Oz to be lovable, but then comes to realize that no matter where she goes, no place is more comfortable than home.
There's no place like home.
In the course of our lives, we may grow to hate our homes, our parents, and the constant boredom we experience from them. We may despise and loathe them and may think that life is dreary and bleak. However, as we grow up, travel, and leave our homes, we will soon come to the realization that there is no place like home. There is nothing more comfortable than the loving words of a mother or the steady comfort of a home. Sometimes, we need to go out there to realize that all this time, the most warm and accepting place on earth is our own homes. For God has granted us our homes so that we may have a place to belong and a place to rest peacefully. Our homes are there to provide us our shelters, and therefore, we must love them and be thankful for them.
Dorothy. Dorothy is a young and sprightly girl. Dorothy lives with her aunt and uncle on the bleak Kansas prairie. She is energetic and delights in her dog, Toto. After a whirling cyclone lands her house in Oz, she embarks on a journey to the Emerald City to ask the Wizard of Oz how to return to Kansas. Tin Woodman. Tin Woodman was rescued by Dorothy after rusting in the forest. The Tin Woodman desires a heart from the Wizard of Oz. He used to be a real man and was in love with a Munchkin girl, but due to the Wicked Witch of the East's evil machination, he lost his limbs and eventually became a man of tin without a heart. Despite his belief that he lacked emotion, he proves himself a kind and sensitive man. He is given the task of ruling over the Winkies at the end of the novel. He is a representation of industrial workers who often experience being dehumanized. The Tin Man was immobile and rusted, which is something manufacturing workers felt when many businesses began to shut down due to the national depression. They felt helpless after they lost their jobs. The Wicked Witch of the West. Given the task to kill the Wicked Witch of the West, Dorothy and her companions venture into her land. The witch resents their intrusion and sends many of her creatures to destroy or capture them, finally succeeding with the winged monkeys. Powerful, bitter, and full of rage, the witch is happy to enslave Dorothy and the lion like she had enslaved the Winkies before them. She covets Dorothy's magic slippers, recognizing their power, and tries to take them from her. But this proves her undoing when a vexed Dorothy throws a pail of water on her and she melts away into nothingness. She represents the politician William McKinley, who defeated William's Jennings Bryan during the time of the Free Silver movement.
Scarecrow. He is rescued by Dorothy from his dull life in a farmer's field. The Scarecrow's greatest wish is to procure brains for himself from the Wizard of Oz. Despite his perceived lack of brains, however, the Scarecrow is exceedingly intelligent and resourceful. At the end of the novel, he becomes the ruler of Emerald City in the wizard's absence. He represents Western farmers. He complained about not having a brain, but wound up as the most adept problem solver among the four travelers. Cowardly Lion. The lion encounters Dorothy, Toto, the Scarecrow, and the Tin Woodman in the forest. He claims to be a coward and wishes for the Wizard of Oz to give him courage. However, he proves himself courageous in many situations throughout the novel. He later rules over all the animals in the forest.
Something always told me they were reading Tommy wrong.
Toto, Dorothy's trustworthy and loving dog, a small dog that seems to go unnoticed. Toto, who reveals what a fraud the wizard is. Toto also represents average Americans. Good Witch of the North. The Good Witch of the North is one of the two good witches. The Witch of the North greeted Dorothy upon her arrival in Oz. She is small and elderly and very kind. Although she cannot help Dorothy get back to Kansas, she gives her a mark of safety and her forehead represents northern workers. The Good Witch of the South represents southern farmers. This provides a contrast between wicked industrialists from the West with the railroad moguls in the West.
The cyclones. It is like a tornado, a deadly rotating of powerful air. It usually brought by thunderstorm. It is very large, massive land, dangerously strong funnel that reach from the sky and hundreds of miles down in large until it touched the ground and it moves very fast with uncoordinated motion across the land. This type of storm are rather common in Dorothy's homeland, Kansas. One day, this kind of storm comes to Kansas and whirled Dorothy's house until it moved to an unfamiliar land for Dorothy. It's called Land of Munchkins. The Emerald City. It is the city where Oz is living. Everything there was green. All of the people who were living there wear green costumes. Everyone in Emerald City have to wear green thin glasses. It's said to protect their eyes from the brightness and glory of the city. It is the place where Dorothy and the travelers had finally met the Wizard of Oz in the throne room. It is also the place that ruled by the Scarecrow when Oz had left. Silver Shoes. The Silver Shoes is owned by the Wicked Witch of the East. The witch is dead when Dorothy's house fallen on her. Then, the Good Witch of the North asked Dorothy to take that silver shoes with her. The shoes contain a power, so when Dorothy knocked the heels together 3 times and command the shoes, it will carry her wherever she wished to go. Dorothy used that silver shoes to carry her back to Kansas.